This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
Salute.
Good flavor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
What's good, people? We back at it once again. Great British Bake Off, Series 12, Episode 3. It's Bread Week, as I throw my pencil across the room. And, where do I even start? Christ, okay, come on with this. Your remaining bakers are Giuseppe, Christelle, George, Lizzie, Jurgen, Amanda, Chigs, Maggie, Roshika, and Freya. And, I had to count them down. I was like, who was left in this damn tent? And, we start with the signature this week is Focaccia. And all I was thinking was, I mean, come on, Giuseppe.
Right.
And I know that is probably some kind of racist.
Well, Italian isn't a race.
I don't know, ist of some sort.
It was something though, because I thought the
Yeah.
same thing. I'm like, if this motherfucker don't win the Italian bread, and then they threw him two alleys because it was
Yeah.
two Italian breads.
Yeah, so my man had to come through and do the damn thing. In general, what do y'all think of the ideal of focaccia as the as the signature this week?
I personally love focaccia bread. I think it's delicious, but that shit was a alley oop though to Giuseppe.
As I watched it, I was like, I don't think I've had focaccia of a nice standard, and I might need to go get me some. Try to find me somebody make some good focaccia.
I mean, Panera Bread do the damn thing for everything, pretty much. I mean, their focaccia bread is pretty good.
Okay.
But as I learned not too long ago, I've never had fresh bagels until as of late. Like I've had bagels from Panera Bread that's been sitting in the rack already, but like a few months back, I went to Buger's and got some fresh everything bagels.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "Hold on, I got some fresh ones coming out right now." Man, that shit was a life changer. Like I've never had fresh bagels before, and maybe some fresh focaccia, maybe doing it yourself might be the trick.
So I don't bake at all because I don't understand science, but I believe in it. So isn't focaccia kind of an easier bread to make? Does it not involve yeast, or what is the shortcut to focaccia?
I don't know, but everybody did seem to be making it. That was one of the breads that was getting made here during the pandemic.
Right?
It was
Yeah,
it was sourdough and it was focaccia. And
Yeah, I
it
don't
was
think
sourdough
it's-
focaccia for some motherfuckers. So
I mean, I don't think focaccia is like a shortcut filled bread. I think it's everything. The trick is the wetness. Like from all the video, because that's the one bread I really want to make. And I've my rule of thumb is always 3 recipes to get me where I need to go.
well, it was interesting to watch it. So my first note was Amanda should be going home today. It was my hope. Alas, we'll leave that there at that point. I also wrote George can't use a knife for shit because I was watching that man try to chop vegetables and I was just like, sir, we can do better than this. That is awful.
He a baker. He don't be using knives.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's got to be a fine chop, but it's got to be better than what he was up to. I was like, good Lord, no, sir.
You know who does have excellent knife skills?
Go on.
my man Jurgen.
Yeah.
He diced the shit out of that onion. Don't think I didn't see.
Yeah.
I
He
feel like go on, Ed. I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead, T.
No, I just feel like they showed that a guy can bleed this week, man. They let Jurgen just get got all 3 times. I mean, no. I think in Showstopper he did okay.
I figured though
Man.
he can't be good at everything.
It had to be something. And bread is a fickle mistress, and it is slightly more art than science. The science is the recipe, sure thing. And what did I write down? Jurgen said something I thought was prescient, and he was like, temperature sets the crust, time sets the dough. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. But doesn't always work that way in your kitchen environment and so forth.
That's what I was just about to say that he said. And he was talking that shit like that, like his bread was about to be everything. Like, I thought when he said that, that was the moment I was just like, do I really even need to watch the rest of this episode?
But it's like, it's not that it's untrue, but it's like, his shit didn't bake up as well as others. His flavor combination, I don't know how y'all feel about the small tins of fish, but I'm not a kipper, anchovy, herring, none of them shits, man. I'm none of them dudes.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought it was like a pepper.
Yeah, kippers are, I'm almost positive kippers are fish. I'm going to double check for you right now. Kippers, I thought there was a little tinned fish. They are.
Yeah, herring.
Yeah.
Ew.
And that's like, I'm like, bruh, what? I mean, I get the idea. The ideal, I guess, was sound. The results were not. Don't do that. Don't bake fish in your bread.
Yeah, I just take it as that was a British thing that I just wouldn't, that I just wouldn't
Apparently it's a
like.
breakfast thing over there, I guess. It used to be, and then I just saw some article that it came back in fashion for breakfast in like 2012.
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay with the kipper game.
I should go find Jersino on socials and see, like, cause I don't know if y'all have ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race, but they are prepared for every challenge before they go on the show. So when they get kicked off, they still will post their looks on social media, like after they're gone from the show. So I wonder if Jersino is like on Instagram, like, here's my bread, bitches.
This what my focaccia would have been like.
Right.
You know, I have no proof of it, and I can't really say this is how it would have came out down in the bake. What did I laugh at? Oh, the isolated cupcake bit was dumb to me, but it made me chuckle anyway. But he was like, "Why is that cupcake all by itself?" And I just was like, "This week, Matt and what's his face was pretty funny to me as the little host of this event." And I was just like, "Okay, y'all got some good. They done wrote y'all some good jokes this week." And I guess it's necessary because bread is kind of boring.
No, bread week is my absolute favorite week. I love bread week.
This particular bread week was kind of boring.
Yeah, I think it's because they picked, I think the signature and the technical challenge were two very closely related breads. And then they did some bread that I've never heard of in my life, milk bread.
Yeah. Those the two similar, being two similar a recipe for the first two challenges meant that this is kind of, like I said, just kind of, okay, here we go.
I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Not saying it was a bad episode, just saying.
Yeah, like I just didn't find it boring. Like I was on the edge of my seat most of it because like I said, I'm interested in making focaccia bread. So that one was good. My favorite bread is ciabatta bread.
Is it?
Yeah, I love some ciabatta bread.
So when we go back to the host right quick. When they announced that challenge, they said ciabatta bread.
Oh my God! The way they were saying focaccia too.
I had to go. I was like, "What the hell is ciabatta? Is it a chia seed kind of fish racer?" It was fucking me up until they go over to the bakers and they're like, "Ciabatta bread." I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck was they making up?" I had to erase my. Was like, "What did you do?"
I have to watch the show with captions though.
I do pretty good with my English, and like I said, my man they both was like ciabatta, and I'm like, you two different words that have totally different meaning. Christelle's roasted grapes and feta recipe. I was like, I never thought about roasting a grape in my life. So, but apparently it was tasty, just annoyingly thin.
Our girl Roshika made a pretty focaccia with her little onion flowers.
It was a
Yes.
beautiful design. It tasted too bad. It was overly garlicky.
No,
Yeah.
I bet you it was fine, and they were just being English. Every time somebody puts some seasoning on something, they have a problem with it.
Yeah, but they give you little clues inside of the show,
Right.
like when they do that voiceover in the back about like, oh
Roshika
yeah,
is fucked, basically.
yeah, like when they mention the garlic a few times, like garlic infused. I'm like, they land on that garlic. That's what killed her.
So when I watched her make it this second time, she like literally spread a whole, basically one of the little jars of garlic that you buy at the store. Basically, she smeared that all on there after the first proof, and then more garlic after the second proof. I'm just like, it was too much. It was way too much, and I understood a bit better why they was like, nah, dog. I was like, oh, there you go. I must have just missed it the first time. I was like, I don't know, man. It looked fine to me. But you're right.
Did they like Amanda's? I can't remember.
No, Amanda's was overbaked. And her little quote from this challenge was, "Girls who are pickers wear big knickers." And I was just like,
Looked at the TV real strange. Like, what?
is she saying girls who eat is fat? What's going on?
And then she gonna look at the camera and say, "It's true, ma'am. We know you got on big drawers. You didn't know to tell us."
And if I'm not mistaken, Paul Hollywood said hers was scorched.
Well, he said Rashika's was scorched, but I thought that he was saying that as like a bad thing,
Yeah,
but it was a
it's
compliment.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he liked the way it made the onion flowers look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chigs was overbaked. Christelle's flavor was on point, but too thin, like I said. And Lizzie did the damn thing, which is utterly unexpected because she was like,
this whole
"I'll come for
episode.
bread."
Yeah, she really showed and she's very like, who eats a breadstick? I'm like, what is wrong with you?
But it was multiple ones of them who was like, breadsticks, and they seemed shocked by the notion of breadsticks. But these motherfuckers eating fish for breakfast, like shit's sweet. So come on, man.
It gets a little annoying how much she is just flippant on everything. She doesn't like anything. Why are you?
Yes.
Why is she in the cop? Yeah. Why are you there? Like, I don't know. It's confusing. How overtly nonchalant she is.
I don't know if it's her like cheeky British personality and jokes that I'm just not vibing with, but I've never disliked a contestant on this show until now. I don't know why I don't like her.
I don't think I place her anywhere. It's like if she goes, I wouldn't even notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just don't really. Whatever. Like I said, Jurgen finally fucked up. And fucked up enough to make me go, ooh, Jurgen, is you going home, baby? Don't do that. Don't do 2 star bakers in a row and then go home. But it's not unheard of, so it's all good. Giuseppe came through, first handshake of the series, and Paul asked for the recipe, made my man tear up. And I was just like, that's what's up, man.
It was very special. And his bread looked really good. Like, I love olives and things and bread, like olive loaf. Yes, there's a bakery by my house that makes an amazing olive loaf, but I always get there too late because it sells out. My favorite bread is Dutch Crunch. I don't eat it often because it tears up the roof of your mouth.
Oh, man.
Tell me about Dutch Crunch. I want to know.
Dutch Crunch? Let me see. I want to know what bread family it is in. The first time I ever had it was at the sandwich shop. And it's like kind of buttery and crispy, but the top is like eating Captain Crunch.
Oh.
It's San Francisco based. No wonder why I have never had it outside of California.
Yeah, area bread.
It's a tender white but topped with rice flour coating that bakes crispy and crackly. This is ghetto, but that's how it looks.
Dutch Crunch. All right.
Delish.
There you go. You just learned something, listener. So did I, for that matter. I like how touched my man was by that handshake. He's like, I kept waiting for the butt to come, and it never did. And I was just like, Giuseppe, you all right by me, bruh.
I'm like,
That's why he was my number 2.
It was interesting because like first he used milk in his,
Yeah, yep.
and they asked him did his granny use milk in hers.
yeah. He was like,
my man
no.
bought her bread. he brought on the women in his family twice in this episode. He said,
Yeah.
my mama bought my bread, my mama don't cook. I was like, okay.
And like Paul Hollywood is like the bread guy or whatever. So they're all very intimidated by him during bread week. So for Giuseppe to have the nuts to be like, no, I'm putting milk in my dough.
Yeah. I wonder what we don't know about Paul Hollywood and bread, like what we don't know about Mary Berry and baking in general, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Today? Like,
Right.
I know that Mary Berry is famous for baking on English television. I don't know shit about Paul Hollywood, but everybody seems to know he the bread king or whatever. So,
Right.
things we don't know about English TV, we might have to research a little further. Was this the one that Maggie used? Anyway, strong flour is a phrase that I keep hearing come up on this damn show. And I'm
What
like,
is it?
strong flour.
Oh.
And I was like, what the fuck is strong flour? And tonight, people, I finally looked it up. So let me give y'all a quick rundown on strong flour. This is Cara Schiaparelli over at Spoon University is the name of this website. And anyone who bakes or watches the Great British Bake Off knows the importance of flour. But did you know there are different types of flour? All-purpose, cake, pastry, and strong flours are all commonly used varieties. Most of us have likely used or seen these all on grocery store shelves. But there's one type us Americans don't often see, and that's strong flour. What strong flour is and how it's different from other flours. Here's everything you need to know about this Great British Bake Off staple.
Strong flour, eh?
Yeah. So basically, flour comes from the wheat berry, from the wheat plant. That berry is divided into bran, or hard outer shell of the berry, the endosperm, the inside of the berry, and the germ, which is the heart of the berry. White flour only contains the endosperm. Whole wheat flour makes use of the entire berry, and the protein within the flour comes from the endosperm. And when water is added to flour, gluten forms. The protein and the gluten content of the flour is what differentiates the types of flour. So all-purpose AP flour has a gluten level of about 12%. Pastry flour has a weaker gluten structure, 9 to 10%. Cake flour, the weakest of all of them, 7 to 9%. Strong flour, of course, comes through 13 to 14%, making it a high gluten flour. So that's why it makes sense for use in bread baking. It's basically a little quick breakdown of the strong flour game. And I wonder, I don't think I've ever looked at my flour shelf with enough depth to know if strong flour is something maybe I can even find or would want to find. But just in case you are of the bread baking type, strong flour might be the way you go with baking next time you make yourself a loaf or something.
I definitely feel like Maggie didn't do well at all. Like this whole week.
They said her focaccia was tasty enough.
But she was really like, I'm on some tradition. I'm going to do it traditional. And she was disappointed in herself.
Yeah. It's just everybody else's looked so much nicer, and hers was basically just a little oval of bread. And it did look, hers did have a rustic vibe, though no one called it that. But I looked at it, I was like, everybody else is filling pans to the edgy edge and stuff, and hers is just like I slapped some dough on this cookie sheet.
And on top of that, Paul mentioned that when she was doing her hoes, because I noticed when she was she would dip her fingers in the water, she would just poke it. You're supposed to put your fingers all the way to the bottom. To the metal, and that way your stuff, your toppings stay in there, which is why he flipped the bread over and a good chunk of deal of her toppings fell right out. And he's like, look, all the way down to the metal. Oh, really? Like, yeah, champ. Stick your holes in there. And that was the signature, like I said. And interesting, actually, I like the signature. The technical ended up being kind of like, again, because it was so similar to the first recipe. So it's not necessarily that I didn't like the entirety of bread week. It's just like I said, because the one was so similar to the next one, it kind of left me like, I guess. Technical challenge. Paul wanted 15 ciabatta, cheese, and olive breadsticks. And this is the one that they wanted tzatziki, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which
Now,
my husband George was like, I better know how to make a fucking tzatziki.
of that, having thinking that it was going to be such a big deal, they only talked about the tzatziki once, and that was when they dropped George's. Like
hmm
nobody, everybody else, they just really went in on the bread. I'm like, bruh, why you gonna make such a stink about this tzatziki and then not bother tasting it?
Right.
His did look nice. He had a chopped up ass, what
Cucumbers.
we call them cucumbers. They call them something different.
I know they call green beans some other shit. I don't know what they call cucumbers.
Is it cornichons or is that zucchini? I don't know. Either way, like I said, I'm like they made such a stink over it to not really focus on it at all. I thought it was a weird thing.
I kind of feel like everybody fucked up their bread so bad that maybe it was glossed over, but like I mean, not to harp over Rashika, but it seemed like they spent a long time dogging her bread out.
Her shit was raw. It was
Yeah.
raw.
Like I mean, and I mean, of course, that's why it was the technical because like it was a short proof and a long bake, and had to be at the right temperature because like
Right,
when
right temperature and a right oven setting.
yes, when Giuseppe opened up his oven, that motherfucker was steaming. It was smoking hot, and
But didn't they give them the temperature and to bake at 220 for, or just at bake at 220?
Bake at 220 at the bread setting of the oven. Like
Yeah.
it was once again, and this is like I said, 2 weeks in a row that Rashika just missed a small little something, and she was like, "Oh!" And she turns around to get her oven right. But we don't know how long that was between bread setting and not setting. I
Right.
don't know what difference that makes to the bake, but it could have made a big difference.
it seemed like it did because, like I said, when Giuseppe opened up his oven, that bad boy was smoking,
Yeah.
and like he had changed the position of his bread. He had took the first one out and then put the rest of them to the top. So
Yeah.
it was some technique that most of them didn't get right. Like it was some comments on how some bread was tasty, but still not the crispy it was supposed to be.
Well, let's see. If we run it down with my notes, Maggie forgot her onions.
Like just left the fucking onions out completely. Like, Ma, what are you
And
doing?
apparently, it was enough of a deal. It was that Peru was like, "Yeah, you missed the onion in this recipe," and I'm like, "Oh, well, okay."
Yeah, but she still didn't come in last. So I
It's a
wonder.
conspiracy. It's a
Them hoes wasn't raw.
conspiracy.
Yeah, they weren't raw.
George literally said, "I don't know what I'm doing." So I was like, "Oh, George, come on, baby."
Yeah, but he didn't come in last.
Correct. Christelle's are underbaked. Roshika's was underbake. Jurgen's weren't uniform. And of course, Giuseppe coming in shooting from fucking half court. It just all wet. My man can bake. And he comes
can
from a
bake
family of
bread.
bread bakers, which we discussed last week. It's just in him. And you got to respect it because he is very, very, very good at what he does. And
I just have a lot of respect for somebody who can do everything. And so far, he hasn't, like, that's my issue with who went home this week. I don't feel like she has been doing poorly in the competition. She just didn't do well this week. But like Maggie did like well one time in the first episode. And since then has been like taking a shit in every challenge.
I feel like Maggie holding on this long is because I think Prue fuck with her.
Right.
And I think that can only get you so far, and we'll see what happens with her as we go along here.
Yeah, I'm sure Maggie won't be around for long. It'll probably be between her and Amanda the next episode.
Yeah. Showstopper, themed mixed milk bread display. So basically, they want you to make a type of bread I've never heard of, milk bread. I guess I should get you definition.
It's just pretty much an enriched dough. It's pretty much like making brioche.
Some milk bread is made from Udane, a sandy flour and water paste that gives the loaf the right bounce and longer shelf life. Others call for Tazong, the Chinese equivalent made of warm milk and floury slurry. Some of these are a mix of flour, milk, water, sugar, salt, active dry yeast, and on occasion, butter. So I guess milk bread is more an Asian kind of situation, at least based on what I'm looking at here. Yeah, everywhere I look at it seems to say Japanese, Japanese. So milk bread is not. Maybe that's why we don't know about it. um, Maggie and Amanda both made octopuses, and this is the problem. Which once again, where two people are making the same kind of thing, it shows you how if one of them is really done well, like the horse that one week, the rocking horse, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then you see the flaws of the other one that much greater. You know what I'm saying? It just brings them into relief, and you're like, baby, your shit look whack compared to this bright orange cartoony ass octopus that Amanda whipped up. And I got to give it up to Amanda. She came through with something kind of interesting, looked nice. What did they say about her? Did they give her any kind of piece about her flavor? I know they didn't like it because it sank, so the head wasn't a nice dome that it had been.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they said anything specifically about her flavor profile.
I don't remember.
But her design was dope. So I actually got.
What did she do?
She made that. Her and Maggie both made octopus.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, once again, she did the same thing as someone else.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
No. Oh, right. Yeah, Maggie. I was going to say, I thought Freya made the octopus, but Freya did a whole, like...
Another seascape.
She had, like, a turtle, a crab. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Freya's making a baking scene, is what I wrote down. And like I said, hers was like, yeah, a whole beach kind of vibe. And it's like, again, if you compare notes, you know, so you look at that beach scene from last week with cookies, based on it, it's like it's night and day. And Maggie asks, I get it, but maybe not long for this shit. Jurgen was whooping the shit out that bread. They turned the camera and everybody was looking like, what is bread Jurgen over here?
He was beating the bread, like throwing it up against the thing, just slapping him like, oh, Jurgen.
Yeah, when everybody else was pretty much using a mixer with the dough hook. And another thing about Freya's bread, she of course with a vegan baked used powdered coconut milk, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I didn't even hear it mentioned, which is like amazing that you're making milk bread and apparently milk not as important as you think. So I was like, that's pretty dope. George, okay, so Jurgen made a baby. Weird, just a weird concept overall to me, but sure. George has made a koala that I really thought turned out well. Christelle made a roast dinner, which is a turkey and veg and all that good stuff, and those really look nice. Lizzie went for a roast hog.
Yeah, she made a pig that went flat.
That I did not appreciate its design, but whatever. Rashika made a bird cage, and I was just like, baby.
I know why the birds came.
It was so sad.
Birds,
you know, if she would have just went for, if she just would have went for a dope nest with the eggs and a basket or something, she probably could have just ended right there. But no,
It was so sad.
Yeah, but you know, it seems like flavors and cooking is more her thing, not really design. And that's where because she made breadsticks pretty much.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when it came to the cage, how can you really taste that?
Right.
Let's see now. Chiggs made a picnic basket. It's pretty decent. I like the way it overall looked. Had a good.
It was
vibe
nice.
to it. Giuseppe made his 5-a-day, which is something I constantly hear about from England about their 5-a-day and their vegetables. And who said they don't even eat vegetables at all? What a month.
Probably Lizzie ass. She looks like she don't eat vegetables. Her whole persona gives me like I don't do anything that anybody thinks I should be doing.
So.
Or she actually she looks like a vegan.
Yeah, she got a vibe to her. We'll see how that all works out. Giuseppe came through and artfully made bread look like vegetables. And again, I definitely, I'm saying he had the Cornichon, which I know is basically just squash. You know what I'm saying? But not squash, zucchini. Forgive me. And a carrot. All this shit. His shit looked amazing. It looked amazing. It's like he was on fire, bro. That was just him hitting that last three to take it up. Maggie, underproved, poorly seasoned.
Here we go again.
Jurgen, slightly underproved. Roshika, underbrewed. Giuseppe, at that point, Giuseppe, of course, took the damn flag, the title, Star Baker this week, and he well and true earned it. I kind of knew it from the Focaccia on. I was like, oh, my man is gunning this week, and he ain't gonna miss. And then when they said Ciabatta, or Ciabatta, as the announcer said, it was a done deal in my mind. Until he was like, I ain't never made ciabatta in my life, but I think I got it. And I was like, okay, I like that in you, bro. And he did, and he came through, and then of course, like I said, he came through a showstopper and really did stop the show. I was like, wow, bro, you did something amazing there.
Who won the technical challenge?
Giuseppe.
Oh, so he won all three basically, because nobody's showstopper was better than his. Freya's was close. Freya got next. If she don't win Star Baker next week, then something is wrong.
I think next week, I think Jerry will probably.
You don't think he'll come back?
Yeah, he's probably gonna go hard in practicing and everything, and it'll probably be a tighter race. I kind of feel like the next 2 weeks, the strongest gonna get stronger and the weak gonna get weaker.
Yeah, and like I said, Maggie already been on a downward trend. So if she don't go home this next week, then it'll be the following. Just like I said, unless she must look one of the greatest comebacks in Bake Off, history and all of that.
I mean, so they did bread week, they did cake, they did biscuits. So it's gonna start getting weird now. It's gonna be something else like where they got to be on their toes. So I don't think she'll be able to survive.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what fourth week traditionally.
Is it gonna be pie?
We'll go back 1, and then we'll go back 2, and that way we can get an idea of what week 4 is.
Chocolate week.
Sorry, I'm scrolling.
Chocolate, maybe.
Yeah, chocolate was last season. Dessert week was 2 seasons before that.
Okay.
Caramel week. So, like I said, it's always a toss-up.
Yeah, that's one of those little strange ones that just kind of shows about like, what the hell? What are you doing this week? Don't do that. So,
hopefully it's not another like savory challenge, because they'll do like whatever that thing is where they make those pies and stuff, like pies
and tarts.
When they use that damn suet, and I'm like, ugh. Every time they make it, I'm disgusted.
Or when they cut into a pie and it's like an egg in it, I'm like, oh no.
So I used to make a turkey meatloaf, and one time I came across a recipe of a beef meatloaf, and they had like eggs lined up in the middle, and I was like, like boiled eggs, and I was like, that looked cool. I gotta try that.
But not in a pie.
Yeah, I mean, but they loose with the pie and pudding. You don't know what the fuck they talk about over there. Like, we got rules over here in our own language. Y'all English is real Englishy. So
I just want to go like live where they are and eat everything that they throw away. Not that they throw away, but So I went back and I've been watching older episodes, because people have comments about the new hosts or whatever. I think the old hosts and the new hosts are on par. We just have to get used to them. But one thing I did notice is that the old hosts used to eat a lot more.
Yeah.
They would be tasting right along with Mary and Paul. And I don't really see the new hosts eating.
So I feel like Noel is a very slim dude. And I feel like he make a point to keeping that figure.
Right.
Matt just probably like, man, I ain't trying to look all weird on TV. Just munching on that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably just a choice that these two gentlemen have made. And Melon Sue just was, saying, trying to do what it didn't get no damn. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna try a cookie.
Yeah, they was eating.
Yeah. What I liked about the old series, about when it was a BBC series, was they did a lot of at least if you watched the English presentation, they would have histories. Like they go
Yes.
talk to shops about like, tell me about this bread. Okay, you've been baking this bread in this back since the Victorian era and so forth. And they don't do that on a new one. I even made the point to watch an episode, or at least start an episode recently of on Channel 4's app using my VPN and stuff like that. And I was like, is it different at all? I'm like, no, like nothing is different. This is the exact same presentation all the way through, except they say bake off over there, if they say it at all, and they say baking show over here, and that's just it.
I heard one of the contestants say Bake Off. I can't remember if it was this episode or if I was watching an older one. Really, the only time it's baking show is in the title presentation.
Correct. And
Yeah.
and so what they did was cookies last week. They didn't say it at all. They said Great British Baking, and then it was just that was it. And so it's like, okay, you clearly did that for the Netflix crowd because they can't say Bake Off in America. So it's all good. I'm excited for whatever week 4 brings. I have oddly enough, I often have to avoid spoilers for Bake Off because I follow just enough English and Irish people that motherfuckers be talking. You're like, baby, be quiet. So Tuesdays I kind of have to avoid Twitter just for my safety's sake. But also I could just watch the episode. But I watch it with Vanessa, so I try not to play her and just watch it on Tuesday nights or Tuesday whatever evening as it is for us. Because them episodes come out at 8 over yonder, so what is that? I guess like 3 o'clock over our way. Yeah, it's 5 hours. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't follow nobody except you guys that watch the show. That's it.
I don't even realize it until all of a sudden I hear somebody talking about, I can't believe Paul Hollywood did what? And I'm like, whoa, quick scroll past. I gotta avoid you because apparently you know something. So, but yeah, if anything, like I said, if it ever came down to it, like, and I really got spoiled, I would just go ahead and watch it. I would just turn the VPN on. I signed up for a Channel 4 account and dug up we didn't say it, but they sent Rashika home.
Yes.
Should have been Maggie's what I wrote in my notes. Because in my opinion, it should have been Maggie.
I agree.
And I think Maggie it's always like they're just looking at the week of as opposed to past performance. And that's something they've made a point to say over and over again. Like, look, we talking about here and now. In their opinion, Rashika fucked up more than Maggie did. Probably about just barely.
Yeah, I see it. I still don't think it's fair though.
Right.
Like, I think the showstopper. I seen what they were saying. They were saying like, the basket or the bird
cage
didn't look that great. The scale of it didn't look right. And then like I said in the technical, what they didn't know it was her, but they fucking clowned her bread. They clowned it. They didn't know it was hers, but they clowned the shit out of it.
Was this oven even turned on and blah
Yes.
blah blah? Yeah, they rolled out hard on that motherfucker.
She would have had to do like spectacular in the showstopper to stay, and she did not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't remember them going in on somebody's stuff that bad before.
Yeah, and that's so it's like, even though Christelle's also was underbaked, her technical, it smelled good. It apparently tasted very good.
Yeah,
and Rashika's just didn't. And it's like if you already done, made a bread that's way too garlicky, visually so, in the first go, then you make just whack, last place bread in the technical, and you make that bullshit ass bird cage. Nah, man. I get it. I get it. I would, like I said, I could argue for Maggie and getting her ass sent home, but I could definitely be like, you was kind of fucking up across the board here,
Yeah,
I did love her design in the signature. Like I said, that was interesting. She did something interesting with the bread, unlike a lot of people who just was like, what did the old girl do? She did like a lattice, and they was like, "Fuck is you doing?" No, none of us asked for this. Don't. It's always her too, bro. That damn sugar cookie horse and now this shit. Like, stop. Stop doing extra. Do what I ask of you.
Yeah, but I still feel like Amanda would slip by one more week, and it would probably be Maggie going this because if they do anything slightly even, if it's not pies or tarts, she going
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I think Amanda probably will go next week, and I'm expecting Freya to take a win finally.
Yeah. Come through and get her star baker. Agreed. So I mean, that's how we get down, people. We do this every week. That was a show that I didn't even announce at the beginning because we kind of just hit the ground running. This is Stage Scratch and Milk presents Krème Patisserie. That's Nick Jew, famous from What's the Tea podcast. Y'all know her.
Hello.
Utterly did not introduce her. I just played her just straight up. My apologies. Did not introduce my man Tatum 216.
Yes, I'm here.
But to even it all out, I did not introduce myself, the Internet's Terror 713. So, we all got fucked over in this deal. It was me. That was me.
They know us.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
you
kinda
fucked
what it
us
is.
over. You just probably kept your hand on the small of our back too long.
It could be misconstrued as inappropriate.
Well, again, you and the Treehouse of Trust get this tomorrow, and the rest of y'all will hear this next week, and we keep it motherfucking moving now. I know how we do. We will see y'all next week for whatever next week proves to be. I'm very, like I said, always excited about some more Bake Off. And of course, I'm glad to be doing the show with my peoples. And we will catch you next time. Peace.
Tally ho.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.